We're on number Vav. So we're still proceeding to try to understand the meaning of some basic words. First is that we have a problem with the girsa. So the girsa seems to lead the different pirushim to go different directions slightly, but it seems to be that it's getting more refined exactly what we're talking about. For example, here the word katfu, the katvim. In this case, we have the concept of b'tzrira, and then we have the famous word, the masculine. So exactly what is that? What's going on? Where does it come from? So he's kind of talking about that. So let's see what it says. He says, we'll try Vav again. So Hooray b'Zohar Chai, he says the Garis Khan, b'katfu, the katmin, b'tzrira, the masculine. That's where the lo Garis milas barucha. So it takes out the idea that this is talking strictly about Zeranpin, which could be the Rucha, perhaps, or it's a chain of command, so to speak. That everything is really talking about the skull, the Erekanpin. What's that phrase mean? Now, we had this answer before, Begugolta. So Katfu de Katfu is like the inside of the inside, which would be, it's funny to hear because the Gogolta is on the outside. I think he said that before, but here it means Penemius. So somehow here, and he's going to get more into detail, you have the concept of the Ein Sof clinging or binding itself to this skull, to this Penemius place in Erekanpin. So he says in the Gugolta, all of the seven, it's interesting, wouldn't you think that you would have a skull, then you would have the seven oros? He said, Gugolta misdavgim kol oros zayin tikunig Gugolta for aros laceration. So all of this is happening, Gugolta, in the inside of the skull. So to speak, call it a skull, is what the word means. B'tzrira, an abounding way, v'kol oros anal nitzrorim b'niskashrim b'gugolto ayidecha b'ein sof, the kashal lon emiyacha l'hon so let me read again. Ayidei ein sof, the kashal lon, what does the ein sof do? Well, it brings all of these different things. So this is why I'm thinking, okay, so let me say it out, and then I'll try to think of where I can understand it. So the Ein Sof is the power that actually causes them to come together. Now, he mentioned all these things. Okay, so the Ein Sof is preliminary to this. And because of its total oneness, I guess, everything comes together. The masculine, now what does masculine mean? Masculine means whose shorish called mishkalos hatachtonis besod, and this is the root of all the mishkalos hatachtonis besod, mishkal mida mishura shel or maim rakia. So I try to look this up, try to figure out what he's saying here. I thought maybe it's a phrase that you might know. At any rate, I think it just means these are not just, but it means that these are different measurements. These are different weights. Mishkal, mida, mishura. And then what is the mida, mishkal, and shura of or? Now this is the part that's harder. Or, mayim, and rakia. So right now at this time I don't have anything to put those three words together, exactly what they mean. So I don't know. So let's go on. So it could be a sequence. First is or, then is mayim, then is rakia. I'm not sure. So he said re lashon Zohar Chai. So he said Asham v'zel lashon v'dilog. Inyan kataf, that's our word, our word here, kataf dibuk. So that's what it means. So we see this already. So we saw this in the Afashah. Other people saying it means, kataf means clinging. Kabavura b'gemora nesim miktaf, he said pirish arok, he said dibuk hasa'ara zeh. That's what it was talking about, but it's a lashon dibuk. Or the ashkalos anad and kitfi. He says, what is that? The Barashi Sham, should the vakim v'shofim zeh al zeh b'dibuk echot. Okay, it's still that for as far as hair is concerned, that's easy to understand. But what's going on in the Gugalta is that see, what's bothering me is that if he says that the Ein Sof causes these elements to come together, let's say the Zayin Tikkun de Gugalta, that implies to me that they were existing previous to the Ein Sof being inside of them. So it came inside of them, and then it causes them to bind together. So to me, it doesn't make. That's the way I hear it, and so it sounds like it doesn't make that much sense. How could you bind together something that doesn't exist? I thought everything came out from the Ein Sof, but there's something there. So let's try to figure it out. Exactly how does it fit together? So what does that mean? Pirish b'derech emes yisech dibuk. So we're talking about a glue, some binding force. So this is the ultimate. What do you want to say? It's the ultimate srira, the ultimate binding. So this is our subject. So he says in this place, this is where we got to, I think, yesterday. We get to much further than this. He says, Shesham kasher, because in that place of the sculptor is the force of binding. So like I said before, it implies to me that, so I'm trying to figure, so it has to be that the Ein Sof is first. That first is an Ein Sof, and then there are elements within the skull as if it becomes more physical that could be bound to it. But I don't have a good feeling for this. Not yet. Shesham Kesher V'diva Kol Zayin Tikuni Reishach V'Kol Talas Reishani Loin, that all of this is bound together into oneness. The Ein Sof Tomer V'Gonis Go Kisrach Law, because the Ein Sof is hidden inside of the upper crown. That is the Keser of Eric Anpin. V'Achislav Shusa B'Tzimtzum Bo B'Keser. So then there's a Tzimtzum that allows it to. Here's more of the same problem I'm having. So he said V'Achislav Shusa B'Tzimtzum. So a Tzimtzum causes it to be able to be Mislavshish Bo B'Keser. So all of this, through a tzimtzum, it's able to be mislavech in a more physical, in Eric Anpin, which is more physical. Even though we see that Eric Anpin is composed of letters, but actually, okay, that's okay. So he said, so he said, Tikuni Reisha. So in the Gugalta now, there is a minimization of that light in some way that took place in order for this to be able to come into the Gugaltas as a Reisha. So this once again, I don't have a feeling for this because like it's mashma to me that the Tikuni Gugalta are in existence. That is the kalim of them the kalim of them, let's say, are in existence before the appearance of the Ein Sof, because the Ein Sof comes and permeates them and causes them to come together. That's why I say it seems like a little steer in my logic. So he said, "V'Visham Iker Hislavshus Ein Sof." This is the place where the main Hislavshus of the Ein Sof is located. Devek Shel HaDevekin, the ultimate clinger or binding force. The kashach b'tzrura chada, so it binds with one binding force. Mekasher lahon, meyachad lahon, b'devegas rechim b'cha'aza. So that's a nice little thing he enters. What does it do? It causes them be bound together in love and different words of mercy and love or something like that, in strength. Now, to me, my way of thinking, I know I think backwards, but the thing is like this: he causes them to go together with these three adjectives, we're all adjectives of strong love, let's say. Does that mean that there wasn't strong love before this binding force came? Like I say, still going on the idea that these are pre-existing in some way. In the imagination or the work of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, I'm trying to get it. So now he explains, that's what it means. Kaf the Katbim, it means binding or Ein Sof, the binding of the or Ein Sof. The Tomber of Beganda Bekesed Begogolta, that is hidden inside of that, deep inside of that, is a force. So I guess that this force also caused them to exist, and then somehow that they, keep going on. Anyway, Haschalas Kesher the masculine. This is the beginning. At this place, where is the place, this binding force, is the place where you have also the binding of this thing called the masculine. The question is, what is the masculine? So he says masculine is actually plural. So mishkol mida mishura. So it's the same kind of idea of these different kinds of weights and measures. Ki hamishkol besod das elyon. Now, what this bothers me a little bit too, as I can't quite get his words. So he says here, mishkol of the mishkol. This mishkol we're talking about, this weight or this balance. Besod das elyon mazla kadisha. That's the part that I didn't really get. He says the das elyon, or if maybe I missed it somehow. I thought that the Mazals were Chochmah and Bina. And there must be some connection there that allows that transfer must be this Das Elyon Mazla Kadisha. So again, like I say, I thought the Mazals were the 11th and the 8th and the 13th Tikkun. Now what exactly is he saying here, but that's what he says. He says, or he's saying something else. The concept of the Mishkal comes from a deeper place than that, from the beard of Eric Anpin. But actually it comes from a place called the Das Elyon, Mazla Kadisha. That's the part that throws me a little bit. The V'socham is Lavas Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei. So in this Mazla, in this Das, is clothed this name. V'hu or Tipas Hazro. What is this name represent? This name somehow is a manifestation or has within it these letters, which is or the tipas hazroa, which is the light of the light of the drop, the pure drop of seed. It is the seed drop. I'm trying to stay away from the word DNA. So tipas hazroa, no, but it is the key of everything that's going to come. Inside of it, that's it. V'hu or tipas hazroa. That's what it looks like. The tipas hazroa is actually these particular letters. So it comes out, where does this come from? This is a Das Elyon, I guess. It comes from the chesed of Atik, and he says what, the definition of Atik, he says is Atik Kivarto, is the white Akt Atik. Yud Ke Vav Ke. Haganas Bekesed Arich, which is hidden inside of the Keser of Arich. Shorish Kol Nahorim, it's the root of all radiances, all lights. Who Rashis, this is the beginning. Shuhu Mishkal or Meshura, excuse me. Shuhu Hamishkal, or goes with the idea of war, or I'm not sure. Meshura Mayim, that Meshura goes with water. Midav is Rakia, so exactly the Taich on those don't have it. Shakulim Nishroshim, but all of these things, that is the Or, the Mayim, and the Rakia, are all rooted in this. Shakulim Nishroshim Besod Mishkal, all of them, all of these things. I guess it's some, more further physicality. He's a Rabim, the masculine. So therefore they themselves, by themselves, or Mayim Rakia, that idea, or all I think he means to say, my explanation would be that he means to say, as he said, the keys are in this drop. And in this drop is going to come out all of these other elements with or Rakia, or Mayim and Rakia. Possibly that's the way I could explain it. Karui Lechem Belashon Rabin, the masculine, so therefore there's three elements, or more than one, Ad Kan V'ayin Sham Ba'orach. And there's what to say there. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next one, which is the Pirush of the Sulam. And I think I'm really happy to see that he brings in the Sulam, because the Sulam has a big presence in different places. At any rate, he says, Pirush HaSulam B'Bir Kan Da'irib Zer Anpin, that this whole subject is talking about Zer Anpin. Now, it doesn't talk about the, let's read on it. So, it doesn't talk about this, what girsa he's working with. So he said, V'zel Lashono, he says, in this place, B'katvu de Katmin, Barucha the masculine. That's the way he reads it. He says, Ba'eshkala eshkalos, that, again, the binding idea of bringing the disparate elements into oneness. B'ruach shechem maznayim, with the ruach of the maznayim is again, the balance scale. He said, Zer Anpin, who is the balance scale? Balance scale is Zer Anpin. Shabel HaMaskala, that's where you find the balance. That's the three lines there. The Nikra Eshkol, it's also called by the name of a cluster of grapes. Grape cluster. Shene'emar over here in shiurim, he says, Eshkol HaKofer Dodili. Eshkol HaKofer Dodili. Kitvui, then he says, Kitvui, the word katvui or kitvui, pirusho eshkolos. So when it says katvui the katvin, he means the eshkolos, and he's talking about zeranpin. V'lashon the Gemara, he says, hazinku lahani katvui. So take a look at all these katvui. These wonder what? There's a lot of grapes in the orchard. I don't know what that Indian was over there. Let me see. There is a Yud Ches here. A Yud Ches came on the phrase, he said, Befirish Asul Bir Kan the Iri Zer Anpin, and now we go down to Yud Ches. And he says, Hooray Gam Befirish Talmid, look over there. Shabir Kan Vazel Lashono, Mal Sha'amba Bekatvui, that is Pirish Zer Koi Al Zer Anpin. So also over here. Okay. I was going to say that he seems to me, in my mind, he's rehabilitated the sulam, because he brings the sulam in, and like I say, it's an important thing to a lot of people. So he said, "V'pira zera b'koi al zer anpin b'makom she'osios havaya misyashrim bay." That the letters of the havaya are clothed there. Ad kan. That seems to be a quote from over there, and from the Pirush Talmud. He doesn't really get into the words. What are you going to do with that phrase? What does katfu de katvi mean? In regards to Zer Anpin, in regards to Erzem B'Mekomo. Now, what that means, I'm not sure, but he says the Zer Anpin B'Mekomo, the Zer Anpin, in the place of Zer Anpin. V'kanira Choser, it looks like it's missing something here, but the Varav Sham. Ki gam chaser sham bir al kol hemshek Sifra. So he said that's an idea that they put out there, that somebody else is a riot to the Sulam, or where the Sulam got this idea from, but it's not really explained very well. There's something missing. Mikan I guess is the Yud the Hatika Sausim Bestiroi. It's really completely hidden, and they don't know the rest of that. Okay, we have just like almost no time. So let's go way back. What we're going to look at up here is a new set of words to work on. So he says, it is Yud Ilo the Isater Bekatroi. So let's look way back on page it would be on page Reish Aleph, just to read across this to get an idea where we're at. It said, Bekitfui the Katvin, Barucha Tzriva the Masculine Yaakov. Now this is the phrase that we're working on now. He says, Yud Elor, this Yud Elor, the Isater Bekitra, that is crowned in this Kitra. We thought maybe it meant smoke, like coming out of the Mukhas, or coming out or going into the Mukhas Dima, Bekitra Da'atika. That's where we're at. I'm not going to read any more. So I think probably we're out of time. And we'll come back to it, Metz Hashem, tomorrow. Are you going to be here on the back end, you think, today?
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to try? Okay.
We get a minion.
I got you. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Call to.